So what I've done is I've attached the clay to the wheel head, and I've centered it the best I can with my hands. Okay, and the next part, we're going to cone the clay up a couple times to make sure that the clay is homogeneous and to get the air bubbles out. This clay actually isn't the growing clay because of the heavy grog. It's usually not really nice for your hands. Kind of feels like sandpaper. But because of the grog, it will help when it is Raku. Raku involves a sudden temperature change. And the grog helps the clay from cracking, keeps it from cracking. It's easy. So what I'm working on will be a vase. It'll be rather large. There we go. And it will probably take me, we'll probably have to break it down into 2 pieces because I can't throw as more than 5 to 6 pounds of clay, but it should be rather large when finished. So what I'm doing right now is center. When the clay is centered, it won't wobble back and forth. It's very important. Actually, it's crucial. So I've got my plate centered. The next part, oh, and I forgot my needle. Okay, so I've got the clay centered. The next part is to open it up, and I'll do this by putting my finger into the center and pulling out the clay. And then at that point, I'll pull the walls up.
What is Raku?
It's a process using combustion materials and basically what you'll do is you'll discard the piece, which is the process of drawing out the clay, just drawing the water out of it. At that point, you'll add glaze. It's made specifically for Raku, which is a low fire technique. And you'll heat the kiln up until the glaze is slick. It'll slip down. And then place it in a combustible material, usually like sawdust, straw, pretty much anything that'll burn. Once, you'll have to decide whether or not you want to have a reduction or let the glaze oxidize. And I'll take and create smoky patterns onto the glaze. Gonna be like different colors. I have a piece somewhere to show you what it looks like. It's really neat because there's a lot of experimentation. You're not always guaranteed the same result with the same look. So even if I made 10 of these vases and I use the same glaze, they wouldn't necessarily look alike, and you would have different patterns on each one. So what I'm going to do is make this a two-part vase. And I'll attach it once it gets a little hard. So the last part I'm going to do with this is foot it. And so basically I'm just going to make an angle going in at the bottom. It'll be easier to get off the lid. I'm making this piece for my show. It's coming up like next week. My show's about people and portraits of people. And this piece will actually be accompanied by a portrait of someone. And I'm going to, once this gets firm enough, I'm going to take and create designs on it. And let's see. I might bring this up a little more. But it's going to make texture And then when I Raku it, that texture will stand out. And because the smoke will get caught into the patterns, and it should make some pretty interesting designs and looks. There might be a piece in here I can show you what I mean. This is Raku. This is what it'll look like when it's done, or something similar to this. This is the copper matte glaze, which I do plan on using this, but like I said, it will look different pretty much anytime you use it. It could turn gold on me, although it could. Copper matte usually turns out this bluish color, and it will have this copper, but it usually doesn't, it's usually not as shiny. Sometimes it comes out shiny. It just kind of depends on the circumstances. This is heavily reduced, that's why there's so much copper. And you can like, see like where she has texture. Right here, the scales. Well, it looks like scales, but it's actually done with mesh. It'll get caught. You'll see like the designs in it better, which is probably going to be hard to see in that camera, but
I picked up a little bit.
See, and so the parts that aren't covered in glaze will actually turn black or smoke gray.